should probably note that I'm using the movies for Harry Potter as secondary canon, with the books as primary canon. The movies in Lord of the Rings will not be considered at all. I will also be assuming that Ginny's power grew by the time she became an adult. Ginny Weasley was the shy wife of Harry Potter. Though she started off quite scared of everything, she grew braver. She had a strong personality and was physically quite strong, relatively speaking. She was a member of the Quidditch team and thus had reactions far faster than that of most humans. Most of the time, Quidditch players were playing at borderline subsonic speeds, easily faster than a normal human. It seems that wizards have far higher strength than most humans, as well as just having stronger bodies, with Dumbledore living for over 200 years. She was also a skilled witch. As Bellatrix said, to cast magic you have to feel it, and here is the source of Ginny's power. With her skill, she was able to face off for a short amount of time against the aforementioned Bellatrix Lestrange. She could cast full-blown Patronuses and was proficient with Reducto. She was also proficient with dark magic hexes, being invited to the Slug Club purely because of her marvelous skill with the Bat Boogie Hex. Though perhaps not as exceptional as the likes of Hermione Granger, or on the same level as Dumbledore or Voldemort, her sheer willpower gives her enough strength to contend with some of the best of them, and she almost certainly grew stronger as time went on. To most, Galadriel might appear fair yet fragile. Yet in truth, she is incredibly powerful. She is, quote, strong of mind and body, resisting the grinding ice of the Helcarax unharmed. Like all elves, she is easily faster than most humans, and far more agile to boot. The elves are also immune to sickness and can see far and wide. However, Galadriel has taken this to a whole nother extreme. She can see across the whole of Middle-earth, as implied by this line. I cannot see him from afar, unless he comes within the fences of Lothlorien. A grey mist is about him, and the ways of his feet and of his mind are hidden from me. With the mirror she can see even farther. Time is no constraint. As seen above, she also has telepathic powers. With Nenya, she can control life and death to preserve her land in a state of eternal bliss, holding off entropy and decay. She can also create illusory barriers powerful enough to hold off even the Nazgul, whom even Gandalf feared. She is implied to be able to fight on a spiritual level. For like Glorfindel, she lived in Valinor, and her ring, the aforementioned Nenya, seems to exist in the unseen world, and is visible in the material, to mortal eyes, only as a star between her fingers. She was also trained by Melian. This gave her knowledge of magic. It is almost certain that Melian taught her the art known as enchantment. Enchantment is, quote, art delivered from many of its human limitations, more effortless, more quick, more complete, product and vision in unflawed correspondence, and its object is art, not power, subcreation, not domination, and tyrannous reforming of creation. With enchantment, she can create wonders anchored in the mundane, but enriched by the arcane. The illusory veil around Lothlorien is almost certainly wrought via enchantment, forged of the power of Nenya manipulated by this magic. She also has control over light, creating a brilliant radiance that casts the rest of the room into shadow. Perhaps even draining the light from the surroundings via enchantment to create it. Her telekinetics abilities are also stunning, as she destroyed the massive fortress of Dol Guldur with ease. In terms of raw power, she is stated to be the greatest of the Noldor save Fëanor, putting her above Fingolfin and on the level of the stars shaping Valar. It is, however, likely that her full power is constrained by limited area of effect and hidden behind long and complex rituals. Still, there is no doubt she is immensely powerful. Let's set up this duel. Let's say it takes place in the Department of Mysteries. Who wins?
The two women stood facing each other, queen and witch. Ginny was mesmerized by the figure before her. She was tall, taller than most women the former had met, taller than most anyone she had seen. and there was a light about her, physical and ethereal. Her skin was like marble, her hair as if meshed with golden light. She seemed holy. Come. Ginny knew that voice immediately, not because she had heard it before, but because she hadn't. Though her lips did not move, it was clear that the voice was the woman's, for no one else could have a voice so majestic and magical, like the voice of a goddess. Let us fight not. Put down your wand. It was so compelling. Every conscious part of her body wanted to obey, to put down her wand. Yet she mustered all her willpower, and she did the unthinkable. She resisted. Slowly, invariably, her wand came up. Once it rose directly in front of her, she spoke. No. Her voice started weak, but with repetition it grew stronger. No. I won't listen to you. Then, I am afraid, we must fight. It appeared to Ginny that a single silver tear gleamed in her eye. What a shame, that this must end in combat. Though fret not, for I am not a cruel foe. I shall slay you swiftly. If it must come to such an unhappy end, though I would tarry long before that must happen. Now she spoke with her mouth, and her voice was less arcane, yet no less pleasing. A look of profound sorrow crossed the woman's face. She seemed as if she could be killed by a single spell. A moment later, Ginny realized how wrong that was. A shock of power ripped through the air, a force sending the witch into the wall. Her foe's face was now less that of a goddess of kindness, and now like one of power. A queen of storms. Another shockwave ripped itself through the air. However, it struck the stone behind her, not herself. She threw out her wand, unleashing a blast of red through the air. Yet the White Lady was unfazed. She stretched out her hand and the red beam fell into it. She didn't move an inch. The sound of the blow ricocheted through the air, like a bolt of thunder. Ginny ran over to another wall. It took her a moment to find her foe, for the White Lady had moved to opposite to her in a tenth of a heartbeat. She unleashed another blast of red, continuing to maintain the bombardment even after the lady had caught it. She placed one hand behind the other to hold off the scarlet onslaught, and then pushed them forwards, knocking Ginny back and deflecting the energy. Ginny mustered her strength, forcing the water within the well to swell forth. Yet the White Lady sent it back to the well, invisible power forcing it back into its home. Then, but a moment later, she whirled around to dodge a bolt of flame. Ginny threw out another flaming blast, with her foe dodging it as before. The woman threw out her hand, shattering the wall where Ginny had stood. Yet she was already running, standing up besides another wall. She rose her hand, wand within it, only for it to clatter to the floor, as if in the grasp of some invisible power. In the middle of the 5 statues the Lady of the Golden Wood stood. Enough, she commanded. Come now. Let us not end this fight in death. Come, and we may both leave. A snarl spread across Ginny's face. Never. A sad look spread across the lady's face. Then, I must end this. Ginny threw herself at her wand, trying to grasp it. Suddenly, dark spread through the room, almost complete shadow. She could not find it. In terror, she looked up to the blinding image of the White Lady, brighter than the sun. Within her hand, it seemed a star gleamed, and light burst forth, coming downwards in a cascade of liquid light. Caught amidst the crumbling rock and holly light, Ginny Weasley collapsed in flame.
Okay, let me explain my reasoning. Physically, Galadriel is just stronger. She endured the Hellcarax unharmed, and she is stated to be physically strong. Ginny doesn't have that kind of accolade. In addition, Galadriel is an elf. Elves are stronger, faster, more agile, have better vision, and are immune to sickness. While Ginny's reactions are fast, she can't react at the same speed she moves. Galadriel can. Even if Ginny could see Galadriel, that doesn't mean that A, she wouldn't be disoriented, or B, she can keep up with her. However, Galadriel's biggest advantage is she's just stronger. Granted, most of her power is locked behind spellcasting and rituals, presumably, but she can still shred Ginny to bits with any serious blast. I think it's obvious who wins this. I declare Galadriel the victor.